Hello and welcome here on Tuesday, August the 6th. Off, whatever. So, you pretty much know the drill. Sitting around, resting, as I'm supposed to be doing, taking my meds when I need to take my meds, watching a bunch of random YouTube videos. I showered today, though, so that's new. I did shower like 2 days ago, I think. But I had this one blister down there in the pelvic area, which burst. So I only had one Band-Aid. So I was a little bit concerned about leaving it uncovered. So that's kind of why I didn't shower yesterday. Because I thought, well, I only have the one Band-Aid, so I'm gonna keep this covered up for a few days. But I think it's mostly healed. I don't think it should bleed or anything. Not like it was that first couple days there. So that's part of why I didn't shower yesterday. Plus, it was like, it was like the day was gone, and this like, I guess that's what happens when you sit around and sleep when you want and watch a bunch of random YouTube videos, and I did watch General Hospital. I kept up on that since tomorrow I'll be able to watch the episode of Evil. So since I'm pretty sure it's Wednesday nights that's on, I think. I don't know. Since tomorrow is my last full day of rest. I did try to make some, because Mom was asking questions about, I'm supposed to go in 3 to 4 weeks to see my doctor up there at Overland Park, and well, she was saying something about, you might want to like make an appointment now, and of course it's one of those things that's like, for me it's like I'm just sitting here, I'm not really thinking about much of any of that or trying to figure out any of that. She's like, oh, you might want to, I don't remember if it was her or my Uncle Mike that said something about you might want to try to make an appointment now, and I should have, because I called them today, and somebody called me, it was my, what did she call herself? Somebody to help me after the fact. Where did she go? Oh, there it is. My nurse navigator is what she called herself. So she was, she tried to call me today. Of course, I, was asleep during the call because I had my phone on silent. So she was like, finding out if I was doing okay, and then she was helping me if I needed to set up appointments and yada yada yada. So of course I'd already talked to Dr. Kadwani's office, because, ma'am, there's nothing in the trash you need. Okay? She thinks there is. Okay? Okay? Okay. There, I had the rest of my fried chicken from, I keep wanting to say Country Kitchen, and I'm like, no, it's the other country restaurant, Cracker Barrel. The white people barrel, I ate the rest of my fried chicken, and I threw the bones in this little well, it's a bag from McDonald's that they gave me, when I DoorDashed the last time. So they're nice big bags. They work great as trash cans, or trash bags, whatever. And then when you're done, you just take it out, throw it in the trash. But it's not full quite yet. But I had one of, actually I believe it's in here, my everything bagel can thing. Yeah, there's fried chicken bones in there. So I think that's what she keeps smelling and keeps trying to get to in the trash, because she keeps like, I can hear like crinkle, like kind of like we just did there. She's exploring and trying to figure it out. But anyway, yeah, my nurse navigator was talking to me today, trying to get everything lined out. She told me about an appointment that isn't even on my paperwork. And when I tried to call Dr. Kadwani's office, they gave me the wrong number on the paperwork. That was calling somebody in Manhattan, Kansas, and this is Overland Park, Kansas. Because I was like, oh, Dr. Kadwani, and she's like, I don't even know who that is. So it was some cancer center or something that they. I'm a terrible adult. There was one guy that was talking to me. I believe he said oncology, and he was trying to calm my fears. You know, he's like, I know when people hear oncology, they automatically think cancer, and it's like, I didn't. I had no idea what he was talking about. I was just letting him say whatever he needed to say, and it's like, okay. You know, it's like I knew they would tell me, you know, check up in so many whatever, and it's like, luckily they gave me paperwork so I can keep track of it all. That was a good thing, because I'm a terrible adult. And like Mom and Holly were trying to ask me about what they said about certain things, and I was kind of like, I don't really remember. I just kind of, I don't know. They let me out. That's all. That's, you know. They did say that, you know, the procedure. And even the nurse navigator said today that, you know, that procedure that I did, you know, helped a lot, you know. So, because she said it sounded like, she was asking me if I had any shortness of breath or anything, and I was like, no, I mean, I've been up, you know, because that was the problem was, I was fine as long as I was sitting down, but it was when I was, you know, trying to walk halfway across, you know, the back aisle of Walgreens, that I couldn't breathe. But I've been up walking around the apartment, you know. You know, I just, like I said, I just took a shower, so I was up, you know, moving around. And I'm not getting short of breath, so I guess that's okay. And it's kind of nice because my leg is no longer, like, you know, I was just thinking that was like oncoming diabetes or something, you know, when my leg was like swelling up. I was kind of like, oh, well, you know, I mean, I eat like shit anyway, so that's no surprise there, you know. In fact, he said my numbers, like, I'm not even quite pre-diabetic. If I understood what he was telling, I don't know, I saw so many different doctors. I think that was cardiology, maybe. I don't know, when I was up there. And he was saying something about my numbers, like, I think like 6.5 is, I'm close. I'm on the cusp of being, I guess, pre-diabetic. Because I think he said 6 point, or maybe he was saying 6.5 was diabetic, and I was like 6.1 or something. Whatever it was, you know, I mean, I was expecting the number to be worse. So, you know, good there, I guess. Good on me there. Because I was thinking he was saying 6.5 was like the pre-diabetic range, and I was only 6.1 or something for some reason. Because he didn't seem to be too worried about that number or whatever when he was giving it to me. I don't know. There again, you know. So yeah, unfortunately, the point I was trying to get to, that I just remembered that I was trying to get to, I called Kadwani's office, and I talked to his, you know, his assistant, nurse, whatever, and she was saying that she looked at his schedule for 2 weeks from now, and he's, like, booked, I guess. Like, he's going to have to figure out where to fit me in his schedule in, like, 3 to 4 weeks, I guess. You know, so we're still waiting on that. I asked Mary Lee if she'd be able to take me up there, because it's just like an hour from here, and I don't, there's so many different, like, you know, Holly has to take us, my niece Holly has to take us into Overland Park because Mom can't drive in the city, but I know Mom wants to go. I know she wants to be there. So the logistics of, you know, I looked at it, and Mom and Holly met in Excelsior Springs, and then came on down and got me, and then, you know, went back up, and then I spent the night with Mom that night when I got out of the hospital, and then she brought me back down here the next day. But that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Like, I would have to go up there, like, it's as close, because they said that the building that I'd have to go to for my thing with Kadwani was right there by the hospital. So I was looking it up on maps, and it's pretty much as close to from the hospital to Excelsior Springs as it is from the hospital to here. It's like 50 minutes to get from the hospital to Excelsior Springs, and it's like 58 minutes to get from the hospital to here. So it makes more sense if Holly's going to drive 50 minutes to get somewhere, even if she just meets us here in town and then takes us up there, whatever, you know. Of course, then Mom would have to come down here, but I mean, I guess she could spend the night, I guess, if she wanted to come down and spend the night and be here the next morning for, who knows, I don't even know. I don't know if I'm going to get something in the morning, something in the afternoon. I don't know what day. He doesn't work Fridays, because Mary Lee was saying it would be better if I could get it on a Friday, which makes sense, because then, you know, neither one of us worked that night. I mean, I'd have to take the day off with Parks and Rec, but that's not going to be a problem, I can guarantee you. I mean, basically, that's my boss over at Parks and Rec was just like, oh yeah, rest up and come back, you know, come back when you can. Your job will be waiting for you, whatever, blah, 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 you know, so... you know, it was just kind of like, go do what you need to do, come back when you can, kind of thing. There wasn't like, you know, any hoops I had to jump through or anything. I just don't get paid because I'm not there, which, cool. But yeah, it would make more sense. But of course, the doctor doesn't work on Fridays. You know, he got that 3-day weekend. You know, he's the specialist. You got to come to him on his terms and his time. So, but he works Monday through Wednesday. And he's in the office Monday through Wednesday, and then Thursday he does some kind of something over at the hospital, so he's nearby. He can come over from the hospital and, you know, have an appointment, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, he's got to figure out when to fit that in. So I did do something important today, besides shower. I tried to get some of my, you know, or at least that, because that's the only one I really have to worry about, because that's the one I got to go to Overland Park for. The rest of them I can do here in town, so, you know, I can walk over there, or I'm sure Mary Lee won't mind, you know, taking me over there, whatever. Of course, I could always get it. Well, Uber doesn't really, even though this is a college town, I'm kind of surprised. You know, Uber doesn't really, I've never had any luck getting an Uber in this town, but whatever. Even when the students were in town, like, I didn't have any luck in them, but yes, we'll have but anyway, speaking of whatever, all of that aside, we have a question to answer. So let's answer our question. What makes you cringe? What makes you totes cringe? I know, sometimes watching those, I guess it depends on how you define cringe. I know there's those, you know, those cringe compilations out there, and it's usually people acting ridiculous. You know, sometimes these people are just, you know, living their best life or whatever. So it's like, you know, maybe they're like furries or something, you know, or it's someone who's, you know, doing a really bad impersonation of something, or, you know, it's just kind of like, oh, that kind of like, you know, that's an uncomfortable situation, you know. That's what a lot of those cringe compilations are, you know, about that guy that he's doing some kind of video about being the Joker or whatever, and then, like, I don't know if it's his roommate or it's his friends, like they burst into the room or whatever, and then he's like, oh yeah, and then they have him do like the laugh or something for him, you know. I don't know. There's the cringe compilations, but I don't really find myself cringing at those necessarily whenever I watch those. I don't know. I guess that's the what's the definition? What is cringe? What is cringe? Because I feel like it's like drawing back, you know. Bend one's head and body in fear or in a servile manner. Okay. Have an inward feeling of acute embarrassment or awkwardness. I guess that's more what you think cringe is. Because I think, ooh, when I do like this, because I watch those videos of those fucking, like, the skateboarders, And when it's like, you can tell, like, they like bent their arm or twisted something, I'm just kind of, or like broke a bone, I'm just kind of like, oh, you know, like, I was like, oh, that's kind of, I guess that's kind of cringe to me in that terms of like, bend one's head and body in fear or in a servile manner. He cringed away from the blow. I cringed at his stupidity. Oh Lord, there's a lot of stupidity out there. I definitely cringe at that. It's kind of like, oh my God. Or like these people that like, maybe that's my cringe, is these people that like on these paranormal videos and whatever, they're just like, they can't tell that it's fake. And I'm like, if it's on the internet, it's fake. Like, that's kind of like rule number one. Somebody's lying to you. They're trying to get views. They're trying to get clicks. They're trying to get this, that, and the other. You know. You know. But I mean, I'll admit, the other day when I was telling my story about being in the hospital, you know, but I mean, I guess it's not a lie. It's not. When I titled my video about, you know, me being in the hospital, I said something about, you know, I guess I almost died. You know, I gave it a very dramatic, sounding title. But I guess the situation was a lot more serious than I realized. I was just kind of joking my way through it, you know, whatever, not thinking it's kind of like, it'll work itself out. You know, I wasn't that worried about it. Everybody else was more worried about it than I was, apparently. It's kind of like, yeah, I'm doing good. You know, I didn't feel sick. I wasn't hurting. I wasn't in any pain or anything. As long as I was sitting down, I just couldn't breathe. You know, and it's kind of like, well, I mean, this is the kind of thing that you know, I'm not a very big go to the doctor person, but I'm like, this is the kind of thing I guess you do go to the doctor for, you know, and they fix you. They do what they're supposed to do, you know, all these pills, you know, my blood thinners and all these appointments that I gotta try to make and go do, and more tests they gotta run, whatever it is they're gonna run, I don't know. I mean, you know, I gave it a very dramatic title, but at least there's like truth. Like, I guess I did maybe possibly almost die. You know, blood clots in the lungs apparently are a very serious thing. You know, so far so good for me. But there again, I've been sitting around. I haven't really done a whole lot of, you know, walking or strenuous activity, which I guess I'm not really supposed to do for 2 weeks, whatever, or lift over 20 pounds or whatever. But yeah, like all the people on the paranormal videos, when they're just like, you know, they defend it to the end about like, you know, oh, you know, how do you know this is fake? This could be, you know, I mean, the videos could be real, but I mean, it's more likely that people are faking them, you know, like these people who just defend to the death that it's like, yes, this is real paranormal footage, when it's like so obvious that it's not. You know what I mean? I mean, I guess that kind of makes me cringe. People not questioning things, people not using critical thinking. Like, I can't be that much better at it than everybody else. I mean, I want to believe in us as a human, as a species, as the human race, that everyone has the capability of thinking critically. They just don't do it a lot of times for whatever reason. And then we get situations like that where it's like people are like, you know, taking these videos and be like, oh my God, I can't believe this is real. Yeah, because it's not, you know, like, I don't know. I guess that kind of makes me cringe a bit, speaking of people's stupidity. You know, we're just not thinking. I don't necessarily know that it's stupidity. It's not these people are stupid. They're just not thinking outside the box or whatever, or, you know, thinking like, hey, maybe this person is faking this shit. You know what I mean? Like, maybe this isn't real. Maybe I should do some research. Like, oh my God, I guess if you want to get cringy, fucking cringy, luckily I haven't seen this in a long time, but every once in a while, that stupid fucking shit on Facebook will pop up. Facebook's gonna start to charge. I saw it on the news. Your stupid fucking little thing will turn blue. No, it fucking won't. Nobody saw it on the fucking news. Knock that shit off. Oh my God, I am so like, that just angers me. I don't know. I don't think that's cringe. I think it just angers me when I see people post that shit. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious? So that's not cringe. That's that's like rage more than anything. So I mean I guess I don't know. I don't know. Because I mean I could, you know, maybe I'll have to watch a cringe compilation and see if any of it actually makes me cringe or whatever. But a lot of times, like, you know, it's just kind of, you know, people who are kind of nerdy or what, like a Star Wars kid, whatever, you know, oh, it's total cringe, you know, or whatever. But I mean, you know, Star Wars kid had a hobby. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Like, he just, like, even I, here's a story I don't believe I've ever told. There's very few anymore, I feel like. I was out playing one day in my yard, as that would have been late 80s, early 90s, when the Super Mario Brothers Super Show was on, and every Friday they would have an episode of Legend of Zelda. And then there's this one, you know, there's this one episode where I don't know who shoots Link in the butt with like an arrow or something. He's like, no, you gotta aim, you gotta aim. So I'm out in my yard. I had this plastic bat. I don't even know where this plastic bat came from, but I'm like, whoosh, you know, swiping at dandelions and stuff and killing them like they're monsters or whatever. And I decided to recreate that moment where someone shoots me in the butt. And I'm like, oh no, you gotta aim, you gotta aim. And somebody, you know, like we used to live out there by the road. I wasn't even paying attention that they were cars. I was just living my best life, I suppose. And one of them, whoever, it happened to be one of my classmates, Kanisha, because she was like, I want to ask you, what were you doing the other day out in your yard? And she like recreated the moment. She recreated the moment because I was recreating the moment. She was just recreating the moment for me. She was like, "What?" You were like this and everything, and it was like, oh. So I was like super embarrassed in that moment. So it's like, I mean, sometimes with these cringe compilations, like I almost feel like bad for people like laughing at them or whatever. I mean, I don't know that they know, and some people actually use that hate. You know, they're like, wasn't there some girl online that like could not Miranda sings, because that's like a character. She was faking on purpose. But there's some, she's a bigger gal, I guess. I think Tanya talked about her once or something. But that was what people had a problem with, whoever this girl was, because you know she would fuel the hate, you know. To get more views and, you know, get more clout and whatever. You know, she's like, hey, you know, the haters make me famous. I guess that's the saying, right? You know, or whatever. So, I mean, my little moment, you know, recreating The Legend of Zelda, I mean, that could have, if somebody filmed that could have ended up on the internet, and that could end up in a cringe challenge, you know, and it's like, I was just outside, you know, playing, having fun, enjoying myself, you know, so, but I definitely do, like, I feel like a body convulsion when I see when I see like those skaters and parkour people and all those people who, like, you know, like even like ridiculousness or something like that, you know, where you're watching those videos of people and you're like, you can tell like that fucking hurt, like that fucking hurt, you know, or especially if they like show you their arm that's like twisted, I'm kind of like, you know, so. There's that, and I guess people's stupidity and not, you know, or not willingness to like critically think makes me not cringe. Maybe, I don't know. That's more like depression. It's kind of like, these are the people I'm on the planet with, you know, kind of thing. Like, but anyway, I guess that's the best answer I got for you at this time. That's long enough as it is anyway, because this is probably heading toward a 30-minute video after I gave you my update. And sometimes it doesn't feel like I'm sitting here talking as long as I'm talking, but then I go to upload the video, and I'm like, I talked that fucking long? Jeez. So, that's probably the best answer I have for you anyway. And, yeah, my hair's probably dry now. I've talked for so long. But, not that there's that much of it to dry, so it's like, whatever. But anyway, that's today's thingamajigger, And I'll see you for what I see you. I don't know if I'll make another video tonight. I almost want to get into those cards that I won out of the claw machine. The bandstand cards or whatever, just to see what's in there. But definitely after editing that video the other night of the Scratchers tickets, that was definitely the last one of the night, because it was like, that was a lot of editing for a very long period of time. I think I even got up and went in the other room for a little while and took a break and came back and did the rest of it, because it was just like so much. And that's probably what the bandstand cards would be too. But anyway, as of now, I have answered today's question, and I'll see you for what I see you.